Thank you, Madam Chair and Madam Special Rapporteur. It is a privilege to address you again on behalf of the Armenian Bar Association. Last Monday, we described how, while ruling Azerbaijan for 29 years, the Aliyev family has exploited the still unresolved Nagorno-Karabakh conflict to build its dictatorship on hatred against ethnic Armenians. Azerbaijan's textbooks describe Armenians as bloodthirsty genetic enemies artificially placed on Azerbaijani land. The state glorifies those who commit heinous crimes against Armenians, so much so that soldiers film themselves committing these crimes and post the videos on social media. The highest state officials repeatedly refer to Armenians as dogs and pests to be fumigated or expelled. The state fails to punish and in fact encourages hate speech by prominent private actors. It prevents its citizens from having any positive contact with Armenian ethnicity by prohibiting ethnic Armenians of all citizenships from entering the country and eliminating all Armenian cultural objects on its soil. And finally, it undermines and brands as traitors any Azerbaijani citizen who expresses the slightest sympathy towards Armenians. Today, we will describe in more detail some actions of Azerbaijan's soldiers, beginning with arbitrary killing of ethnic Armenian residents of Nagorno-Karabakh. These are listed in full in our written report. A November 2020 video shows GP, a pensioner, being beheaded. His severed head is placed next to a pig. A voice off camera says in Azerbaijani, "This is how we get revenge, by cutting off heads." AG, a 46-year-old father of three, was killed in January 2021, just days after the European Court of Human Rights asked Azerbaijan for information on his whereabouts. An autopsy showed that he died from torture. A December 2020 video showed YA, an 82-year-old man, being beheaded by Azerbaijani soldiers. The last thing he said, with a knife on his throat, was to beg his captors for mercy in the name of Allah. An October 2020 video showed another pensioner with initials YA found and shot point blank in a town square. On February 24 of this year, Azerbaijani military vehicles equipped with loudspeakers approached Nagorno-Karabakh and broadcast a message in Armenian, telling residents to, quote, "Leave the area immediately, otherwise force will be applied. Leave the area, leave the area." On March 8th, with temperatures below freezing, Azerbaijani soldiers exploded the only gas pipeline supplying Nagorno-Karabakh. As Ms. Hampartsumyan just said and experienced firsthand, hospitals had to shut down, schools had to shut down, children died of hypothermia. Madam Chair, Madam Special Rapporteur, the point is not these particular soldiers or these particular acts of torture and terror. The point is that over the last 29 years, the Aliyevs have built an entire system of discrimination and propaganda that created these soldiers who were willing to do this. In their 2020 war, the Aliyevs displaced over 90,000 ethnic Armenians from their homes in Nagorno-Karabakh. Allowing the Aliyevs to rule over the rest of the territory would subject the remaining ethnic Armenians to the same fate. There is no more authoritative voice in the world on matters of racial discrimination than this committee. And there is no clearer example of racial discrimination under Article 1 of CERD than the Aliyevs' policy towards ethnic Armenians of Nagorno-Karabakh. The world does not always listen when we say this. It will listen when you say this. We ask, Madam Chair, Madam Special Rapporteur, that you forcefully make this point in your concluding observations. Thank you. Madam Rapporteur, regarding to the extent there are any ethnic Armenians in Azerbaijan outside of Nagorno-Karabakh, I think it's worth recalling this committee's concluding observations in 2005, which stated, quote, the committee was, quote, concerned that, according to reports, incidents of racial discrimination against Armenians occur and that a majority of the Armenians residing in Azerbaijan prefer to conceal their ethnic identity in order to avoid being discriminated against, quote. So we don't know if there are really any ethnic Armenians in Azerbaijan outside of Nagorno-Karabakh, because as this committee has noted, they tend to conceal their ethnic identity for their own survival. Before the war, there were 150,000 people in Nagorno-Karabakh, according to the census. 99% of them were Armenian. According to the Migration Service of the Republic of Armenia and the UN International Organization for Migration, during the war, 90,640 persons fled from Nagorno-Karabakh to the Republic of Armenia. And according to Russian Federation peacekeeper data, as of February 2021, 52,700 had returned by February 2021. However, a lot of them had their homes under control of Azerbaijan, so they had to try to find homes in other parts of Nagorno-Karabakh that were protected by the peacekeepers. Madam Rapporteur, if I may briefly add, the 5th grade history textbook of Azerbaijan, which is the first textbook in the curriculum, it repeats many times that the Tsar, the Russian Tsar of Imperial Russia, placed Armenians in Nagorno-Karabakh only in the 19th century, so like 1850, 1860. That's a key point of Azerbaijani propaganda. It is in the textbook, but as you've heard, it is not accurate.